da, da,
B. The tails
da,
nigga.
da,
It
da,
my
da,
muscle.
da, 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 where it's my motherfucking co-host. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
How cold is it out there?
Let's go, baby.
Alright.
Uh, 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 uh.
In Newport News or in Hampton? Where's you going? Uh. Ew. You was going to Newport News? Oh. Mm. I'm about to go to Newport News, so that's some. And then by the time I leave, hopefully. Something like we about to go get some food. Which you was yeah, that's what I figured. I really wasn't asking for.
All right, here we go. Right back at it again, man. Coming off of last night playoff games, now we right back at it again to the next round, to the round before the big dance. You know what I'm talking about? This the dance to get to the dance. This the warm-up dance to get to the dance. But this warm-up dance is really, really special. Both sides, AFC and NFC sides, are the matchups are 1 versus 2 on both sides to play in the Super Bowl. Bottom line, that's everything's on stage. Everything's on the line right now. The stakes are high. At the end of the day, you get into the dance and have an opportunity to touch immortality, man. Before we completely get into what we're here to talk about today on the show, on episode 6, the conference championships, the showdown, conference showdown, I want to really, first of all, I want to say, for everybody, that's listening and will be listening, man, we're going to take a moment real fast, a little moment of silence, for my co-host. He lost his aunt. She was laid to rest today, had service today. So, you gonna see his energy, but we want to let him know we there for him. So Shoguns, man, the whole league, Game of Thrones, the whole Mad franchise, Junkies crew, man. Prayers out to you right now, and we're gonna give a little moment of silence for you right now.
Appreciate it.
Prayers up to Guns and his family, man. A lot of us going through some trying times right now, though. But one thing we do is we got a real big family-based league where we all supportive. We might all talk shit and come at each other, and all types of competitive arguing and things like that. But when people go through it, man, we all end up banding together, man, and really supporting one of our teammates at the end of the day, man, because this is a family-oriented league. At the end of the day, man, we all got each other backs. Although we all coming from different walks of the world, pretty much, man. You got guys everywhere. Man, every state America has. You got guys outside of the country. Is a big situation, and we all, the longer we've been playing with each other, we all became brothers, man. Brothers in Madden. That's what we are, man. Some people are closer than others. Everybody has, some of them got their own cliques and shit like that too. But at the end of the day, we all here for each other. So again, prayers up to Shoguns and his family right now during these trying times. Now let's get the fuck started, cause shit real right now, man. It's real right now because, first of all, you know what I'm saying, we about to be at 2 different off seasons and 2 different Madden franchise junkie brand leagues right now. And the 48 Hours just crowned the first Super Bowl of King Madden 22 48-hour league. We had a big time game that happened between 2 of our members that's over here in Game of Thrones, and Coach Drew with the 49ers and Coach Craig with the Cleveland Browns. They went into that Super Bowl. They played a hell of a game earlier today, man. If you missed it, please go back and check that shit out on Drew's YouTube channel. I'll put it in the Facebook group chat for those that are on the Facebook group chat. They better watch that game. Came down to the wire, man. Big time players make big time plays in big time moments, and both teams did exactly that. But we want to give a special shout out to Craig winning his first Super Bowl ever. He's been in the league for sure. He hasn't even been in the league for over a year yet. And he's did some things that, you know, that's very special, man. Won his first Super Bowl in the Madden franchise junkie brand. Simple as that. First Super Bowl in King Madden. We're going to be jumping to the offseason. He took that Cleveland Browns team all year long, had a really good record. I think he only took 1 loss. And his path to that Super Bowl went through the Dolphins, the Ravens, and then the 49ers to be able to pull out the dub to get his first trophy, man. First trophy. Congratulations. You know what I mean? The guy worked hard. That's the only thing I can tell you is this, man. Hard, well, he said, I can't remember his little phrase, maybe Guns or somebody else can remember. He says, hard work always outbeats talent when talent don't work. Is that it? That's that man's favorite quote. Hard work outbeats talent when talent doesn't work. That's his theme, and I'm gonna ride with that because that shit is so true, and he proved that in his short tender as a Junkies crew member, where he worked his ass off to get to where he got to and climbed the mountain. He's sitting at the top of the mountain right now in King Madden. And then the funny thing is I'm glad he did it early because King Madden about to be chipping next season. We got some members over there that are dogs that Gray had that AFC over there chipping right now. So that 48-hour league about to turn into some shit over there. It's ready to go down. That's all I know. So you better build off of that win, boy, because we coming. And we coming for sure. I'm telling you right now, we coming. We ain't just letting shit slide over there nowhere. He's gonna be walking out of here with Super Bowls and Super Bowls out, man. You ain't gonna be coming through all that. Now listen, you have $100 and a ring that was promised to the first 2 seasons. I know you patient, so just be patient with us. You know what I mean? Shogun's got some things going on right now. We'll get that ring shit set up and sent to you, and you already know. On that hundo, you already fucking know. So again, I just want to say I'm very proud of Craig winning the Super Bowl, man. Because you know why, man? The guy put the work in. I already said that. But you know, through all the things we say to each other through competition, and you know, sometimes things might seem like it's hate, but it's really, you know, the more people come at you or say things to you is more of a respecting when it comes down to certain stuff, man. And what I will say, in my opinion, he did it his way. Nothing took him away from doing the things that he liked to do on the game to be successful. He stayed at it, and being able to stay at it and be comfortable at what you do got him to a Super Bowl. And actually got him a dub in his first Super Bowl over there right now, man. We do got a couple spots left over there for anybody that's interested in playing in another Madden franchise junkie league. We got a couple teams over there still. It's really fuller than we thought it would be. Now that we got guys coming in ready to rock for real, like shit just jumped up on a whole nother level in my opinion. So yeah, if you're looking for another junkies league or you want to be a part of junkies league, come holler at us. And come get one of those teams and see if you could turn one of those teams around. Now, my theme music in the background, that's the Game of Thrones music that I've been wanting to hear. I wish they was on another season right now, man. Shit, might even go back and watch that over. But the music is playing because we are in Game of Thrones. And before I get to the games and the matchups and we run through our show and all the topics we're going to talk about and touch, let's talk about one thing first, man. Top players in the playoffs right now. The wild card round, we saw 2 players from the same team win players of the week in those weeks. So you saw Tyshawn Williams with 13 carries, 202 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns versus the Dallas Cowboys, 5 catches, 55 yards out the backfield. You saw Isaiah Simmons, 6 tackles and 2 interceptions, the man in the middle. They played big time football in the wild card round, and they were the wild card top players of the week that week. And then on the other AFC side, you had Travis Etienne, who went off 33 carries for 257. He had 3 rushing touchdowns and 22 yards out the backfield on catches. Tyson Campbell shut Big Dog, 4 tackles, 3 interceptions. He showed he could cover the 6'6" freak over there, and he did exactly that, 4 tackles, 3 interceptions. So shout out to those guys in the wild card round. And then we get to the divisional round play, and as you can see, the players that stepped up over here was Saquon Barkley in a losing effort, 22 carries, 175 yards, 8 yards a carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, caught the ball 3 times out the backfield as well. And then Carlton Davis III went out there, and we talked about him against Allen Robinson the second, and he went out there and said, not only am I going to get these 3 tackles on you, I'm going to catch a pick, and I'm going to take that shit to the crib. So to the crib, C. Davis III, CD3. CD3 took that thing to the crib. Simple as that, right? And on the other side of the AFC, you got the Baltimore Ravens and Casey Fields, 21 carries, 208 yards, almost 10 yards a carry, 2 rushing touchdowns, and Sean Wade had 3 tackles and 2 INTs in that ball game. And there were your divisional week players of the week right there in both games, man. Davis is playing on, and so is Casey Fields and Wade's. All right. Guns, we are at the conference championship games right now, bro. We are here, and we got the 1 versus 2 matchups on each side of the playoff tree right now. Man, we got to talk about these matchups right now. NFC, AFC. Both teams played each other in the regular season. Both teams did. The Bucks, the number 1 seed, won the regular season playoff games, right? So you had the Ravens beat the Broncos, and the Bucks beat the Arizona Cardinals. So when we talk about these matchups right now, we just want to talk about the 2 teams. We want to talk about their matchups. We're only talking about their matchups first, and then we're going to dig into their path of them getting to this game. But when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Arizona Cardinals, this matchup is starting to become, a first place schedule matchup where they play every regular season. This matchup is starting to become a rival, in my opinion, between the 2 coaches right now. It's been heated at times. Falky has a big voice on the show when he comes on, and he usually comes on when he wants Falky time. And in his Falky time, his last conversations was about that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. And talking about some of the things they did, we showed him that they were the number 1 defense. He questioned why they were the number 1 defense. We told him he threw 50 touchdown passes and over 70% throwing. He questioned how he threw the ball, and I would think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would take that as an insult and take that, and use that energy to try to get his team to be a little bit more war ready for this ball game. What you think, Guns? You think that's energy that they think they're going to use tonight?
I mean, now he came online to defend himself, if I remember that show correctly.
Yeah, yes sir.
So that's what I would question. That energy is going to be there.
I mean, this game going to be every bit of the game of the week. Honestly, like you got a team that's one of the best runners. They got the best running back on their team. One of the best running teams in the league, going up against the best quarterback in the league, and the best passing team in the league. Let's just talk about that part of their offense right there, the matchups there offensively, man. On one side, you got the number 2 rushing attack in the league as a team, but the number 1 defense with that number 1 rushing attack versus the number 1 passing team and the top 10 defense in the Arizona Cardinals. How do you like that? Like, how do you like the fact that, you got a run game that's top 2, or it's number 2 in the league, with the number 1 defense with that run game? That's a recipe to have. That's the reason why this team is the number 1 seed on their side right now, man, because they don't turn the ball over, because they run at a high level, and then they play defense at an even higher level.
I mean, a combination of a rushing attack and a defense like that is almost is equivalent to for those basketball heads out there, like a four corner offense from back in the day, where all they did was get the four corners of their side of the floor, pass the ball around, run the clock down. It wasn't a fast pace,
Right.
but it was efficient. So you got two polar opposite teams on the field. You got one that likes to get it done through the air, and the other one likes to get it done on the ground, a little ground and pound, slow the ball down. That's what I like to call that Tampa Bay team. Ground and pound, slow the ball down. Versus you got the air raid. You got the Fast and Furious raid over there with the Arizona Cardinals.
Right. Whose defense is under the most pressure? Is it the number one ranked Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense trying to stop the Fast and Furious raid, or is the Cardinals under the most is going to be under the most pressure trying to stop the number two rushing attack?
It's the Cardinals flat out.
Flat out.
And I say that because Tampa Bay has an offense that assists their defense in slowing the ball down. So the offense helps their defense by chewing the clock, not putting them in precarious positions, and then they also have their defense. So you got a team that schemes totally, that assists their defense, where when you have that raid, sometimes that raid, if there's a mistake made, sometimes they can put their defense in the crosshairs at certain times. So, but that was the older version of the offense. Since then they cut down the turnovers. But I think that Arizona Cardinals defense is going to be under more pressure.
Yeah, because see, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, they're super good, right? But what is, they're always well rested. They're not a team that comes on the field after their offense is turning the ball over after being on the field. They're a team that get rest on the sideline while they watch their offense put drives together, and then they well rested. By the time they come back on the field, they Gatorade up, they Powerade up. They only they well rested and they ready to reset and go again. They don't play a lot of defense under stress whatsoever. I mean, you only seen 15 interceptions from the quarterback, and I don't even think you saw a fumble, maybe one fumble from the running back. So again, they don't turn the ball over at all, and they put you in a situation where you have to motherfucker deal with this team at full strength every time they step on the field, because there's no momentum swinging. So you got to be a really good offense to be able to counter what this team does on the field, period, game in and game out. But if there's a team that can do it and a coach that can do it, it's Goat Falky and these Arizona Cardinals, man.
Absolutely.
Because at the same time, they have a run game over there too that that they don't ask to be the forefront of their offense, but when they can show they can do it. They did it against the Cowboys, where they ran the ball, and their running back had over 200 yards rushing in that game on 15 yards of carry. So they can run the ball with Tyson Williams. He's definitely one of the top backs in the league as well, on sitting on that Arizona's team. So, and then it comes down to are these guys ready to match up? Because you're gonna see some man to man, a little bit of zone, but the Cardinals are gonna have guys, one-on-one, with safety help over the top all game long. How do they, we're not talking about catching and rack yards and run after we're talking about they got to be possession receivers that can make, secure the catch first, beat their guy, secure the catch, and then, if they can run after that catch, fine, but they have to better move the chains, by being able to possession and route run the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to put them in a situation where they're going to have to beat one-on-ones. We look at the Cardinals and I look at their defense and I say, let's not talk like this defense is not built to be able to stop runs or passing game, man. They got a really good pass rush if you are throwing a football, and they're built to be able to play the run well. They bend but don't break a lot, man. This defense, when their back is in the red zone as well, they don't give up a lot of touchdowns at the same time too. And they are sharks. They are waiting for you to make a mistake. The moment they smell blood, they attack. And I think that's the special gene he got. He got that clutch gene, and there's going to be no panic with him. No matter what the situation is in the game, he's always going to, play with cool heads and try to get the most out of his team. You know, they got a young offensive line, and they're going up against a really special front seven of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. They got veterans all over that front seven, and they got really good, fast, speedy linebackers. So, this matchup is crazy, man, because you know, we'll get into it, but this matchup is crazy when you talk about the Arizona Cardinals versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now the Bucks won the regular season game though, but do you throw that game out the window?
Yeah, this just the playoffs. You can there's certain things you can pull from that game. You know, especially, you know, for the victor of that game, you know, you can keep that as momentum and say, hey, we can beat these guys. But like I said, this is a new playoff with a new quarterback. You know, that's going to have to. He's going to earn his paycheck this game.
And that's my thing. Can Jerry Bradshaw be that guy for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team if the run game isn't the usual run game we used to see? Again, I don't think there's anybody that can absolutely stop the run game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but to slow it down and control it is always the key to trying to beat them. And we do think the Cardinals have the capability of doing that. And if that happens, can this game get put on Jerry Bradshaw's back, in your opinion?
This team is not designed to put them on the back. They got a multiple time MVP that's there. It's going to be on his back.
Right. Right.
So I don't think they're going to pressure this kid, but I think that JJ and those guys are going to try to pressure that kid. Is
right.
What I'm saying.
Right. And it starts with trying to stop that kid Ronald Jones, a 3-time MVP guy over there. The Cardinals, man. Kyler Murray. I mean, he's been spectacular all year. I mean, he turned the turnovers down and everything. He didn't throw a pick at all in the divisional round against the New York Giants, who has a really good defense over there. Can he continue to play at the level he's playing right now?
Absolutely, because they're not asking him to do anything. They're not putting him in harm's way. They're not asking him to do anything that his skill set doesn't already allow.
Right, I agree. I like the linebacker and D line matchup on both sides of the field, because I think that's where it's going to be really, you know, the most action going to really be at. When you look at the DBs for the Arizona Cardinals, the main weapon they got to worry about is the tight end. 99 Reasons, man. They got to better stop Jenkins from being able to explode. He went dummies against the Bears in the playoff game in the divisional round. He went crazy in that game, man, and he's been there for us all year long. He's put up wide receiver numbers, touchdowns, double digits, 20 plus, and almost 2,000 yards as a receiver at the tight end position. Is there anybody on that Cardinals team that you feel as though can, you know, draw one-on-one with this guy and kind of try to contain him themselves?
I think for anybody on either side of the football to think that they have to put something in their hands alone, they're going to be in for a long day. I think that for both teams on both sides of the ball, it's going to have to be a total team effort.
Right.
This team is coming off of another close game that they played against the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they're focused, but you know they could also be. They're battle tested, and I think that game showed it took a total team effort there. So anything less than what they gave the last game, you know, they're going to need that a little bit more this game.
All right, when I'm looking for matchups, I'm looking for a guy like the best middleman in the league this year, especially in the NFC side. And Isaiah Simmons has the frame to match up with that tight end, and he's going to draw that tight end a lot in this game. So you know, my thing is, you know, with the high interceptions, high tackles, he's all over the place. He can play. He has a safety skill set, so he can play safety with that linebacker body. And he's going to draw a lot of single coverage on 99 Reasons. And my thing is, how do you like that matchup?
It'll be a good matchup to watch, but I sincerely hope that safety is going to be lurking somewhere close nearby, because I don't even think Isaiah Simmons can. I don't think there's a player one-on-one in the league that can that can stop, Warren Sapp one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
He may be a little built for the matchup, but that is a big body tight end that loves to box out. They love to throw the ball away from the defender. So
Mm-hmm.
so he'll be able to hang with them, but I'm hoping that he'll trust his teammates to also have his back. Because I saw a play where they were playing against the Bears, and the defender tried to lay out and intercept the pass.
Mm-hmm.
When he laid out to intercept the pass and he missed, next thing you know, 99 was running up the sideline and he was pretty much gone.
Right. He's a weapon. He's a weapon that has going to draw special attention. Again, Isaiah Simmons had a great season, man. And if there's a linebacker out there that can, LAD ain't gonna stop. What's up, Mom? Well, last time I told you in your room, it was on the other side of your bed, on the floor. But I think you picked it up since then. You got it? All right. Let me go. I'm on my podcast show. Let me handle this and then I'll call you. All right. Yeah, though, but I do think with 99 Reasons, man, he is a special weapon that will draw special attention. I'm really going to pay attention to that matchup today, because what I do think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have to throw the ball. I don't think they got to be as efficient as they was against the Chicago Bears, and I don't think they threw the ball against the Chicago Bears because they had to. I think they threw it because they wanted to, and could throw it, right? Because the run game was working well for them over there. Ronald had 29 carries, over 100 yards over there too, so he was in a full effect, and they just showed their balanced offense in that game, pulling out a victory that wasn't even close. But I think in this game, he's going to have to be special, and he's going to have to make a tough play here and there. And he's built to be able to make it because he made it all year long. But we also know Isaiah Simmons, as the man in the middle, man in that linebacker group, has also made plays all year long. They also have another young gunner over there, Xavier Collins, but they have a rookie outside linebacker as well, who I think is going to be the person that they're going to ask to be able to play. He's going to have to play like he's been in the league for 3 years in this game, because they're going to need him to tackle and be able to cover and be in the right spots at all time on defense. So I think Isaiah not only has to play at a high level, he also has to make that carry over and allow those other two linebackers to step up for them as well. Over there, because they're all going to be asked to be able to make plays for this defense to be able to stop the Tampa Bay's their strong run attack play action game that they bring to the table when they're on the field offensively. Yeah, this matchup is going to be crazy, man. Both games are games to watch. They're both going to be played at 2 different times, so guys going to better tune in and watch these games right now. We're not talking about who we picking to win yet at all. We still got conversations to have right now. Is there any other matchups you will be looking forward to in this game?
One-on-one matchups? No,
Yeah.
I'm not looking for any one-on-one matchups. I don't care, or I'm concerned about any one-on-one matchups. I want to see which teams are going to show up, which band of brothers is going to show up that's going to sacrifice and lay out for the other and play team football.
Like what D lineman is gonna block that guard and let that linebacker make the tackle, right? What DB
Right.
is gonna be over the top and always in his spot to be able to stop that deep pass, or the big plays to be made right there, right? What guy is gonna might not get his number called all game long as a receiver, but it's gonna be asked to be able to make that extra block on the edge to spring a run game. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe these 2,000-yard receivers aren't going to be needed to be 6-7 catches, 100 yards at all 3 of them. One of them might have to play a different role in this game, and can they do it at a high level, play a different role in the game, and still be out there playing as if they're making catches themselves? You know what I'm saying? Somebody might end up being a decoy for the day. You're right. This game is an ultimate team game right here with this game. I think they're, especially defensively, all of them are going to be asked to call on their whole entire defense as a whole, because of the both playing styles are so different, but they both got the same goals. And they put stress on every defense, because you have to do a whole lot to be able to stop both these teams when they're on the field offensively. Let's slide over to the AFC game and talk about matchups. Baltimore Ravens and the Denver Broncos are playing again, and this game is starting to seem familiar. They always play each other in the playoffs and in the regular season, so they have a lot of awareness of each other. They've been playing each other since season 1, at least twice a season, and this will make their 6th time playing each other in that short 3 years right now. And you got the Denver Broncos are coming into this game with a new quarterback. The Ravens haven't seen, they actually saw Kellen Mond, but they didn't see Kellen Mond yet, if you get what I'm saying. But we coming in with this Broncos team who showed that they can run the football if needs be. This is another blizzard game, another weather game is going to be in a way. Guys are going to be a lot slower than they are. And the Ravens didn't play in a blizzard game against the Chargers at home, but then that storm reached Baltimore fast. And I would say the Broncos played in that. They played in that type of game against the Jaguars, and they did something in that game that we wouldn't really expected to see, because they really didn't do that all year long, which is gave their running back 20 plus carries. How do you feel as though they come into this game? Do you think they need to get that run game going?
Oh, they have to continue to go forward and put the running game in the forefront of their offense.
No doubt. Hey man, you got the Ravens team who is the number 1 rushing attack in the league. This is another, this is not unfamiliar territory for them, playing in bad weather games and asking that run game to to carry their football team. So matchup wise, man, what you're looking at a top 5 defense. Actually, the Broncos are the number 2 defense in the league. I think they're outside of the top 5 when it comes down to stopping a run, but they're still in the top 10. They are number 2 against the pass. They get turnovers. They have one of the a guy on their team that get to the quarterback at a high level, and Von Miller. They have the no-fly zone secondary. All that is on their way to Baltimore to be able to play the special offense, the number 1 ranked offense in the league right now. What do you like when you come down to this matchup, though, Guns? I don't know if he had to step off. Bear with him. He here, but bear with him. I'll hold it down until he come back on. We might have to slide off and shit. He going through.
I'm sorry. Unplug. Sorry, I missed the question.
I just wanted to know what you thought about the matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Denver Broncos.
I mean, honestly, the Broncos are going to have to find a way to create turnovers, and they're going to have to trust their running game, and just stay within that, because in the previous matchups, that was the one thing I always saw that was lacking, and that was the ability to turn the ball over. And a lot of times it was that because of the constant running game, where they didn't get the Baltimore Ravens offense in a position where they had to pass the ball to where they could, create turnovers. So,
right.
So they're going to have to find a way to get the Baltimore Ravens into a 3rd and long situation to where they can, to where that no-fly zone can show up.
Yep. I agree. I definitely agree. I think we got a bunch of everythings, man. Both of these secondaries are really good. I don't think if there's a game that you're gonna watch that's in the weather and the element, that both teams will still come out and be themselves, where you'll see the ball still being thrown around the park and trying to get things done in the passing game. Is it these 2 teams?
Yeah, I mean, this is the 3rd year. This is the 3rd consecutive year. And when you look at, let's take the lens and zoom out for a minute. When you look at the entire playoffs, right now on both sides of the field, like on both sides of the brackets, like you said, you got 1 and 2. So basically what Madden is telling us is the teams that are supposed to be here are here.
Yep.
And that's that's no shade to anybody else, because I'm one of those teams. But anytime you got 1 and 2s on both sides, that means that like Denny Green say, they are who we thought they were, and that's on both sides. So now that we zoom back into the game, I talked about a season ago how the Broncos were transitioning into a different type of offense. Not I was talking about a mentality, not the playbook. The playbook stays the same, but now the mentality, and maybe with those 28 carries that we saw in the last game, maybe that's a sign of things to come. So that they want to put themselves in the position where they're not in third and long, but and now they got a different type of quarterback. But I can tell you from playing in my very first Blizzard game, the quarterbacks are almost eliminated because of the way that they maneuver on the snow and the ice that's on the field. I mean, like I couldn't even drop back with Trevor playing against the Broncos without him feeling like he was sliding, even though I had stopped running.
Yep, it definitely felt like that.
It felt very foreign, and you can, if you just look at the numbers, you can tell it only took a couple of times for me to realize that the running game is just completely the way to go, because he was ineffective. And they ended up throwing picks. Now, granted, one was at the end of the game when the game was over, one was, at halftime, but, one of those was a pick six. So it's like you have to really be built for this type of game. And these two teams are well prepared. Like I said, 3 years in a row, 3 years in a blizzard. So, yeah, I hope that was a sign to come with those 28 carries. Where they realize that you can't get it done with your quarterback in this type of condition.
I mean, in this game, 3 years in a row, from Divisional Round to the AFC Championship game, it came down to being in a blizzard. Simple as that. They played in the elements 3 years straight to be able to, one of them to better go move on, to better continue to play, and throughout the playoffs right now. So that blizzard, I would say they're used to it, but as you know, when a storm comes, you never really are prepared for it. So each time, even though you played in it three times, it's going to be a different storm all 3 times. So you don't know what type of what type of real weather you get in the kicking game. All types of things can be effective in this game, though, man. And if it comes down to kicks, you got 2 kickers, really a Hall of Fame kicker for the Baltimore Ravens, who in my opinion can get them through these type of games if needs be. But when it comes down to the defense as a whole for the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens, man, they kind of are on 2 different paths. Baltimore are built with young speed and very, very young and athletic speed on their defense, and it looks like the Broncos, they're young. Their secondary is very, very good. That's why we call them no-fly zone. But it looks like they're looking for guys with good play record awareness to be on their field. And to be able to play smarter than most teams.
Absolutely.
Now, the blizzard does take away some of the explosive things that the Ravens do offensively. Does it get a guy like a Hollywood Brown in a situation where he has to play different type of football? We know Hollywood is he's not known for being a route runner. He's known for being a speed guy. He gets open because of his speed. How much does the weather affect that? And if that's the case, does Rashad Bateman and Pooh Hanna be more of a target than Hollywood in this game? And then we know the backfield. You got Lamar Jackson, you got Casey Fields and Camden Man in that backfield. With that offensive line that pushes people. They got a really big, agile offensive line that love to get to second level. What type of pressure does that put on the Denver Broncos?
Well, in this type of game, you don't want offensive line to reach in the second level. What you want is those defensive tackles to just grab 2 guys by the jersey, and I don't care if he falls down and drags both of them with him. You want him to take 2 guys with him. You want him to give himself up so the linebackers have a clear view of what the quarterback is doing, because you definitely want to pay attention to what Lamar is doing this game.
This matchup is a good matchup again, man. Both teams, both sides of the things. Again, we're not picking our winners or anything like that at this point right now, because we have things to talk about. Now, let's stay with these all four teams right now, and we want to talk about all four teams remaining in the playoffs right now and their path to the conference championship game. So I'm going to go to schedule, Guns, and we're going to flip through schedule and stats. At the same time, like we're gonna flip through, so we're gonna take a little bit. Bear with us. The show is here for a reason. This is what we do. We give you in-depth situations and what we grade be dealing with when it comes down to these four teams. So we're gonna start right now. We're gonna start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we're gonna go to their schedule, right? And we're gonna once I get on them, we're gonna look at their path to where they at right now. All right. So you come out of You come out of preseason. You come out of training camp. And you come out of there with a quarterback that sat the entire year last year, and he sat behind the greatest of all time, and Tom Brady. And all throughout training camp, Tom Brady was there, but he was there as a mentor and a understudy to become the offensive coordinator for this team. And this quarterback not only got to sit behind Tom Brady, he still got to learn all year behind Tom Brady, and he came out as the starter at the end of training camp. He became the starter for this football team. Nobody doubted that. It was his chance to take over, and it really wasn't a QB battle at all when it comes down to him and Tom Brady. It was a passing of the torch situation right now. But they come out and they had a playoff team game against the Lions, and he come out 52-14. And his young quarterback is off to a really good start, because in the first couple of games, it wasn't the Ronald Jones show. They really was like working their quarterback and trying to figure out what he can and can't do, and they kind of put their trust in him, and he was the guy. Like at the end of the day, he was the guy. I'm not going to go through each game individually and show his stats or what he did, but game one, to come out with 125.9 QB rating, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception against the Lions. It was only sacked 1 time too, and he threw the ball. He completed the ball 22 times off 29 attempts at 75% again. So he came out and it was almost like, damn, Guns, I know you felt the same way I felt. Like, damn, is he missing Tom Brady at all? Like, he looks just like Tom Brady in my opinion. Like, these the numbers he put up right away, like coming out. Then he got the forced win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He go out there and goes through his his division games 50-23. And on his way there, man, he started off the hot guy first. They got to know him, and how important was that from games 1 to 6 to really feature your quarterback in the passing game a little bit more than the run game. Now, I'm not saying they wasn't running the ball at all. The run game was still effective, and Ronald Jones still doing his thing. It just wasn't 40 carries a game. Ronald Jones would most probably would have did bringing a new quarterback in. They did the opposite. They put him to the fire right away and made sure he can run their offense for the first 6 games. How important is that, and is that part of the reason why he's playing in this game right now?
Well, yeah, for one, you want to see from the coaching staff perspective, you want to do two things. You want to see what you have when the bullets are flying. No more preseason, no more backup, no more mop-up duty, anything like that. You want to go ahead and see what you have, and then on the second portion of that is, if it is successful, you also want to send a clear message to the league that's saying, like, we're not going to be a one-trick pony, because I know the league was probably salivating, saying,
yes,
got
sir,
this kid coming,
no Tom Brady,
all they're going to do is run the ball, no Tom Brady, and that was them sending a clear message to the league saying, hey, we're not skipping a beat over here.
And this was a special year for this team, because I don't think they had a close game at all in their first 6 games, right? They come off the bye, and then they got to play, at that time, their kryptonite, the Chicago Bears. And the Bears traveled to Tampa Bay, and the young quarterback Jerry Bradshaw and that run game with Ronald Jones went ham in this game as well, and they beat the dog breaks off of the Bears 63-21. And I think, to me personally, you tell me if you agree or disagree, this was their I arrive moment game right here. This was the one team that they couldn't beat. and that had their number, knocked them out of the playoffs, beat them in the regular season, and then they get to this game and they show that they not only can win this game, they can win it convincingly. Do you think this, this was the game that, when we look back at their season, this was the game that, made this team really realize they are who they are and got them to the NFC Championship?
I would think so, but the only reason why I'm saying that we would be wrong is because I remember the coach. He actually spoke. He actually told me. He was like, "Nah, that don't mean anything. We're gonna wait till we get to the playoffs. We gotta see him again. We gotta beat him again. That's where the message is gonna be sent." So from us, from the outside looking in, I think that this is where it started.
Yeah.
For him personally, it didn't mean anything to him. Even when he played the Cardinals, he's the same message. This means nothing right now.
Right.
I'm gonna do it in the playoffs.
I think they were always locked in, like you saying, like that. Games didn't mean nothing. It matters in the playoffs. But I think this was the moment where this gave them. If they was on 10, this put them on 20. This game right here.
I agree.
This put them on 20 because after that they went through a vigorous ass whooping schedule of just beating the shit out of people. 73-10 Panthers, 63-28, 63-31, 34-10, 77-0. I mean, then they get to the Giants, and this is that moment where do you come back and you come off your high at this point? Like, I mean, when you putting up numbers like that, there's no way you can't think like this. Man, this is my year, bro. Niggas is ass. I'm whooping people ass right now. We this is us, and then you get to the Giants game, and they bring you back down to earth. Is this a wake up game? Hold up, let's go clean some more shit up type shit. We just took a 38-31 loss to the Giants, or it's a long 17 game season, 17 games of football, man. We lost because it's a long season, but this is nothing to make us have to go think or rethink what we're doing at all.
No. They had the Tom Brady mentality, total perfectionist. So any letdown, even if he won that game 38-31, they might be saying, they will go back and say, how come we didn't win 58-31?
Right.
So that's definitely how they approached that game. It was like, hold up, wait a minute, pump the brakes a little bit, let's go back and fix some things. I didn't like that.
Right. Then they go Texans, air.com, Vikings, air.com, Saints, air.com. They get to the Patriots, and I thought this was a really good game. The 29-12 score doesn't show how good this game actually really was. They scored with 6 seconds left, the back of the end zone with 99 reasons, front of the end zone actually with a mean catch, probably one of the catches of the year with the net. But the Patriots came to play, and they showed some things. I think guys were focused on that Week 18 game because guys wanted him to lose so he can lose the number 1 seed. He pulled that one off, but all eyes were on the Bucs in this game for sure. And the eyes are the guys that he was going to have to face in the NFC playoffs and stuff. So I think this was a game that made people really realize, like, all right, let's really stop thinking that if this guy could just run the ball, that's it. We stopped the run as a wrap for him. I think this thing made a couple of guys, on that NFC side think, all right, this team is for real, but they can be beat. You wouldn't see it through the numbers of these games right now, and I'm like, I don't know where I slipped past the Cardinals game at, but this is the matchup that we're about to see in the championship game. 30-22 was the game, and when they played each other, another one of those moments where you coming through playoff team Jacksonville, playoff team, that's 2. Then you get the Cardinals, playoff team, Super Bowl defending champions, and you go out there and handle them 30-22, and it put them in a situation, man. These guys have been winning, and a lot of their games haven't been close. Are they prepared? Is this team ready to be able to play a close game?
I believe so. Like I said, they're one of the best. This is the matchup of this right here is probably I would call it the preparation bowl, because you got two teams that are solely focused on preparation. I think they're prepared to air people out, and they're both prepared, to win close games.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, so as we looked at the Buccaneers, man, that's their path to get into the NFC Championship one game before the Super Bowl. Our next team on here, we're going to go up and we're going to look at the Broncos' path there right now. They start off with a divisional game, 37-14. They come out high flying. Now remember, this is two different Bronco teams. Why? Because their quarterback switch came late. They traded for a quarterback as this season went on. But this was the old Broncos actually in these first weeks up into their bye. They get into every game they play, same thing. You get big scores. You know what I'm saying? These guys scoring over 30 points a game all the way up until week 5. What does a 59-17 loss to the New York Giants do if you're a Bronco and you out here beating up on everybody? And it's mostly all your AFC games were dubs, big time wins, especially when they say the NFC is better than the AFC. I don't think this coach listens to that type of noise, but I will say this: you played the Giants twice, lost to them twice, big scores too. And to better beat the Giants, you're playing one of the top tier teams in the league, and that type of game will prepare you for the Baltimore Ravens, being able to match up with the Baltimore Ravens, right? So you come out, you take care of the Chiefs, the Bills, the Raiders, the Chargers, and then you get to the Giants. And out of all these teams, you had the Chiefs, who were a playoff team, and the Chargers were a playoff team, but these two familiar faces that you see twice a year anyway. And then you get to the Giants and you lose that 59-17. How do they bounce back? Is this the game where they probably realize it's time to get a new quarterback? Or was Kellen Mond here already?
I don't remember whether he was there or not.
I'll check on it.
But I do think this is a loss like that gets you to soul search. You know, when you lose a game like that, because you know that that could potentially, if you make it, you could see them again. In the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're not going to better tell because they're going to show Kellen Mond on their roster, and we know he wasn't there week 3,
yeah,
so
right.
they're going to show him on their roster. So, all right. But I do think, I think the trade started to happen somewhere around this time, like right before the bye, or like right after the bye, or right before the bye, because they did play the Vikings 41-16, so this could have been the moment that they started talking about that trade. Somewhere around there, but they come off that 59-17 loss to the Giants, and then they go get the dub again against the Chargers, and then they get the dub against the Jets, go into their bye, come off that bye, and they got the Vikings, the Lions, and the Jaguars. Now they play another playoff team outside of their division, and they lose that game 31-10. Then they come out and they get the Patriots. They won that game 34-20, and it was another big-time game for them. The Dolphins was in the building. Now, the schedule to me is starting to be battle-tested games now. You're starting to play guys that can play, right? Lions, Jaguars, Patriots, Dolphins, Chiefs, right? And you come out of all these games, and you didn't play this game right here. This game was an equal sim. So, we're not going to, cause this a loss that he took. Just so happened to be a scheduling conflict where he took this loss, right? So we're not really this doesn't mean nothing to us, right, at all, because he's kind of dominated the Chiefs anyway. Raiders obviously 45-0. Then you get to the Bears, and this is a team that one of the better teams in the league, and he 55-14. The Bears lose to the Ravens 41-23, and then end the season 56-46 over the Packers. Did this path prepare them to be able to get to the AFC Championship, in your opinion?
Oh yeah, I think so, because now you got that new quarterback that had to go through those stretch of games,
and he went through big games.
So absolutely.
The back end of his schedule, and then trading for Kellen Mond gave Kellen Mond a really good charge up to be able to deal with the playoffs, because he played a lot of playoff teams on the back end of the schedule, and even teams that like the Patriots wasn't a playoff team this year, but we know they are one of the better teams in the league. So he played a vigorous schedule as going down the stretch, and to come out of it, we ignored it ignored the Chiefs' loss. And we come out of it with the Jaguars and the Raiders, the only teams he lost to in that stretch, from week after the bye, week 9 on down to week 17, 18 actually. We got to see this team win at a high level. They only took 2 losses from week 9 to 18. So again, I do think that this schedule, especially when you go to a new quarterback, it gave you that many games to prepare yourself for what you're going to do in the playoffs, and they did a really good job because they're playing in the AFC Championship game. So their path of getting there, man. Tell me what's the most special thing about this schedule that they did on their path to get into the AFC Championship. It might not be a game play. It might be, maybe the trades that happen. But just give me their special moment that got them to where they are right now.
It was definitely the trade, because you had to evaluate your team, and you had to say, okay, what kind of team can I place on the field that can get me past, these, my competitors. So I think it was and we could debate how much of an upgrade it was, but to me, an upgrade is an upgrade. So I think that they're moving in a direction of, I have to get past these guys. So let me change my offense to where I can deal with this competition, and
Right.
and I think that they're hitting on cylinders, better than before, better than ever.
No doubt, I do think the tail end of their season is the definite reason that prepared them to get to where they are right now. And I like the fact that trade. I agree with you, but I'm gonna say it's the entire schedule from week 9 on down prepared them, because that trade comes around that time, and you had all 9 games to prepare your quarterback for what he's going to deal with in the playoffs, considering he wasn't a playoff quarterback before you got him. So I think it goes hand in hand, schedule and that trade. All right, so let's slide over here to the Cardinals and their path to they come off of the Super Bowl, and they had to play the Super Bowl matchup that they won. And they put a drive together to win this game. They put a last drive. Whoever had the ball last was going to win this ball game, and that's what ended up happening. Now remember, this game didn't record, so we had to fair sim it. But this was a high scoring passing game where they both came out throwing the ball the entire game. And then the last drive with like a minute and some change left, the Cardinals put on a winning drive. They used their running back. Not only did they give him carries, they used him out the backfield in the passing game, and got down there and scored the touchdown to win them their ball game here. They took a loss against the Cowboys, not being able to make the time, and then they go through the Seahawks. And let me ask you, the Seahawks, the Bengals, they lose to the Bucks. They do take care of the Bears 34-14, and this is the games before their buys right now. This is, to me, I would say the first half of the season was again what you called it earlier, preparation. It was preparation games, man. It was the change and different culture over there for the Cardinals. And what I mean is, you knew last year this Cardinals team, they threw a lot of touchdowns, but they threw a high volume of interceptions. I think this first part of their season, we started to see the birth of the furious part of their offense, which was Tyson Williams and Kyler Murray, and we're talking about the run game. We started to see these guys start to really do some design runs with the quarterback. And Tyson was not only a great runner, he was very, very special for this team out the backfield through the first 6 weeks. They go into their bye, they come off of their bye, and they go on a tear of dubs, right? I don't think they lost another game after this 7th week bye. And not only did they go on a tear offensively, they put up a season that's unmatched when it comes down to the passing game. This is where you end up seeing 3 2,000-yard receivers and 1,500-yard tight end, or 1,000-yard tight end, and all double-digit touchdowns, 20 or more apiece from like 4 different receivers. The running back had 1,800 yards on less carries than down there any back in the league that played at all 17 games, and rushed for over 1,500 yards. This guy went dummies. He also caught the ball really well out the backfield. I'm gonna keep emphasizing that, because that was another part of that furious that I thought developed during these rest of these games, though. But they clean sweep the rest of their schedule. They got the New York Giants, who they play every season as a tough team, where they play a tough game. Seahawks, 49ers, Rams. Now, let's talk for a second. After the bye week, they played a football team 41-24, the Giants 43-42, and then what would you call this? Would you call this tune-up games, kind of? I know the Niners were a playoff team, so we can't, exclude the fact that they were a playoff team. But you got the Seahawks, the Rams. They didn't get to play the Jaguars. They got the Rams again, 49ers, Steelers, Eagles, who, we know is a good football team, and then a computer with the Browns. They're telling it this season. What you think of it when me just talking about it as like that? Is a whole bunch of guys that are tune-up games. Does that benefit a guy like him, or do you think he needed to play some more tough games? Hence the reason why he played a really tough game in the divisional round. Maybe some of these games didn't test him enough to prepare him for, what he's about to see in the playoffs. Or am I reaching?
For that particular team, they didn't need any more tune-up games. They didn't need any more battle-tested games at that point.
Right.
They were already on cruise control. They were already on playoff mode. Because they already saw the teams that they were going to see again. So at that point, they just were continuing. They would want to continue to send messages to the league and assert their dominance. They didn't need any more games at that point. Not that team.
All right, I mean, I could ride out with that. But their path. Let's talk about their path to. You talking about a team that won the Super Bowl last year. So, in their entire season, they're defending their Super Bowl. That puts a lot more pressure on the team right now. So to me, does that make this path that much special that they're right back where they were a year ago, which is playing an NFC Championship game?
I think the way that this team looks at the season, they don't see it right now, because they always are focused on the next game. But I think that when they turn around, win, lose, or draw, they'll see how the defense of that Super Bowl title that they won last year and the path that they took. I think they'll really appreciate it when they turn back around and look over it later down the road.
Right, when they can sit back and relax and just look at what they did in that year. I agree. I definitely agree with you there. All right, and the last team that we're going to talk about, when we're talking about their path of getting there, are the Baltimore Ravens. All right, so now I will say this. Again, they lost to the Cardinals in Week 1. Browns computer game, Niners playoff team, Browns computer game, Bengals playoff team, Texans not playoff team, Bears playoff team, Patriots potential playoff team. Didn't make the playoffs, but one of the better teams, right? Colts, then Bengals again. Then they go into their bye. Now let's just week 1 through 10. Me personally, I mean, they're playing a top a number 1 schedule because they were they won their division, so they're playing the first place schedule. But I think because of these two computer games, Browns and the Browns, I think that that number 1 schedule kind of got a little light. And what they did was they lost the one game in the beginning, then they went on a run. And in those runs, I think they got to meet some teams that are playoff teams, but they kind of dominated these games all the way up into their bye. So my question is, at this point they're tuning up their offense, passing game. Remember, we talked about this on plenty of shows, how the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson is starting to look very comfortable as a passing team, in the pocket, from the pocket passing team, than they were over the first 2 seasons. And I think these games were the reason why, leading up to, off their bye, they come back and then they get the Steelers, Rams, Titans. But then the back end of their schedule wasn't really wasn't that heavy, right? Outside, because you got the Steelers, the Rams, Titans. All 3 of these teams wasn't playoff teams at all. Jacksonville Jaguars, playoff team, but then you got the Seahawks, and then you Broncos. Was that important for them to play the Broncos week 17? Considering how light the second half of their season was?
Yeah, I was going to say that the second half, or once they got into the latter part of their schedule, it definitely, because iron sharpens iron. So I think that they didn't have the opportunity to sharpen that iron as much as they would have liked to the first half of the schedule, outside of the first game, of course. But that second half of that schedule and continuing to dominate and sharpen the iron. So going into the playoffs, they got on, I don't want to say on a roll, because if you look at the schedule, it was like they were rolling all year. But I think I think as far as locking in and really sharpening things up, it happened going into the playoffs with the latter part of that schedule.
Right. All right. And their path was there, man. And on that path, man, again, all four teams bring something special. You are looking at the number 1 seed, number 2 seeds in each conference, respectively, right? You're also looking at a team that carries the number 1 offense, a team that carries the number 2 offense. You got a team that's a top 5 defense, number 2 defense in the league, a team that's the number 1 defense in the league. And it's crazy because you're watching the number 1 offense go up against the number 1 defense in one matchup. I mean, number 2 offense go up against the number 1 defense in one matchup, right? Then on the other side, you're watching the number 1 offense versus the number 2 defense. Could you not ask for matchups like this? I mean, does it get any better in these 2 games? I mean, these are must-see games. Both games are like the games of the night. The good part about it is you get to see both teams play at a different time. I think the Bucks and the Cardinals kick off around 7:30, and the Ravens and the Broncos kick off a little after 9:30. So I would say around 10 p.m. Get prepared for that game. And we have a gap between both those games to actually process what we might be watching, because we could be watching two of the best games we've seen all year.
Absolutely, and I know it's probably the worst thing you want to say, on a talk show, but I'm ready to stop talking about it, and ready to begin.
And ready to see this thing get down, man. Right now, guys are, no matter where they at, if somebody's at work, somebody's actually on the game in practice mode, somebody's, what they doing, chilling with their family, whatever they're doing, their mind is on these games, and then they're going over and over again. Just think about it, the preparation, the process that it's going to take before the kickoff, everything that leads up to them saying, all right, I'm ready, load up, all the things they go through. Do you think any one of these teams can, guys can be anywhere, those that are working a 9 to 5, actually sitting at their desk or whatever the hell they do as a 9 to 5 worker, how many times have they thought about the game they got played tonight? You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what's going on in their lives, how many times did they process the fact that, man, this is the game to get me to that Super Bowl. It's a big game right now. All of them played each other before. They're all familiar with each other. This is nuts, man. This is a build up that, man, we play the game for these moments right here, man. And in my league, as an owner of the league, head commissioner of the league, I want every team in this league to better fill these type of situations. Period. I know that's not likely to happen, but we want everybody to better experience this moment right here, man, because I can guarantee you, if I had an opportunity to talk to any of these coaches, they can tell me moments of their day-to-day where, they went over game planning, they thought about the players that they got to stop on each team, all types of things right now, man. And thinking about players that you got to stop on each team, that takes us to our debate and final segment right now. Our debate segment is key players that need to play big for the W for all teams remaining right now. So let's start here with the Baltimore Ravens, man. This is where I'll run off the stats real fast and go to that. So guns, man, the Ravens, man. We're gonna talk offensively right now. Who are the key players that have to have a big game? It could be a position group, it can be one player, but I'm looking for the offense. What do they need to happen offensively for them to be able to get this W?
Well, we don't need to go any further than Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Going up against this type of secondary, going up against a defense that's a little smaller, but they're fast.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making themselves, quote unquote Lamar Jackson stoppers by putting smaller, speedier. You look at their linebackers. All their linebackers are high 80, 90 speed. And built to slow down Lamar. So really, what you want going up against a defense like that, you want to eliminate turnovers, and you also don't want to get caught up in complete pocket passing. You want to keep them guessing. You want to. So I think if they run more RPOs, if he gets out in space. And that'll keep the defense on its toes. But I think eliminating turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions.
Guns, I completely agree with you, bro. Not to cut you off, but I completely agree with you with the whole Lamar Jackson thing, because I think he has to be Lamar Jackson in this game. I don't think, I think he has to be able to, make plays in the run game and be able to make plays in the passing game for them to be successful against the Denver Broncos in this AFC Championship game. To me, their mentality is this Super Bowl bust. They don't think nothing outside of that. Super Bowl or bust, and if the pressure's on this team, but if there's a player that can, withstand that pressure and really go out there and be himself, is Lamar Jackson, and his team is going to go where he go. So I agree with you there. How about defensively for the Baltimore Ravens? Is there a key player, a key position that has to play well for them to get this dub?
Not a key player. I believe that front seven. If they keep Kellen Mond and if they contain the running game, so if they put pressure on that offensive line, collapse in the pocket, and also cut down the lanes for where Williams and what's the other kid name that came from the Bears, because they went out and got another running back,
Montgomery.
Yeah, so containing the running game, that front seven containing the running game is going to be key.
No doubt, I agree with you. So let's stay in that same game. Let's look at the Denver Broncos. I'll ask you the same question offensively for the Denver Broncos. Key player or key position for them to get the W?
Javonte Williams, David Montgomery, they are going to have to that run game is going to have to be present. If they're put in situations where Kalaman is going to have to pass against that defensive unit, then it could potentially be a long day. So I would slow the game down, trust your running game, and use the elements for what it is. Everybody's going to be moving slower, so you might as well let the game move slower.
I agree. I definitely agree. Now, how about the defensive side of things?
The defensive side is going to be quarterback contained.
Simple as that. Keeping Lamar out.
I'm looking at the defensive ends. You don't want Lamar to get outside of the pocket. So my thing is quarterback contained. That's what you want to look at.
I do think they built speed at that linebacker position. They got a bunch of linebackers that's 90 or close to 90 speed at all four linebacker positions over there. So I do think they have the speed to be able to be able to contain Lamar Jackson as a runner. But I do agree with you there, man. All right, so let's look at the Arizona Cardinals, and we look at offensively. Who's their player or position needs to play well for them to get the dub? These fucking cats, man. They always doing something.
For the Arizona Cardinals is Tyson Williams. Tyson Williams is going to be the most important player.
I agree. That's saying it's supposed to be a debate, and I can't debate with you because here we go. Once again, I agree with you. I think Tyson Williams is going to be the X factor in the entire game. How he goes as far as running and catching the ball at the backfield is going to determine what happens with this Arizona Cardinals Buccaneers game. I really think he's that important to this game. It will be, if he has a successful day, that can lead to victory. Without him having a successful day, can lead to a loss.
Exactly. Well, that's why we call it the debate or agree segment, because in this particular case, great minds think alike. And
pretty much.
For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, on their side of the ball, it's the MVP.
Mr. MVP. I got not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think the quarterback is going to have to be able to be special when he's called on to be able to win this ball game. I don't think the running back is going to be able to be, he's going to be the one to carry this team to that victory. I think that the Cardinals actually going to be able to contain the running back somewhat to the point where he's not, really just dominating the ball game. I think they're going to put him in a situation where it's 3rd and 8s and 2nd and 9s and things like that, where we're going to ask Jerry Bradshaw to be able to be the player that we see him being all year long. So I really think it's him. I think it's on him.
Absolutely not. They're never going to put themselves in a 3rd and long situation. Why? Because the MVP is going to put them in situations where they don't have to depend on their quarterback. Their running game is what allows 99 problems to get open. Their running game is what allows their other wide receivers and other things to happen. Everything starts with that running game.
All right, so what I'm gonna say is to you, I hear you, buddy. I hear you, but I write 16s in under 30 minutes when I write my raps. You understand me? So when I hit you with these 16 bars, it's easy because most of it is in my head already right now. Man, they played last year, same game. Ronald Jones had a good day. Ronald Jones was contained. He had to rely on that passing game to be able to win it. Interceptions happen, so be it. Cardinals are on their way to the NFC Championship game. You're dealing with a coach who understands what a person is trying to do and going to do, and knows that he has to find a way to take that number one weapon you got out of the ball game and make him work a little harder than he's used to working. Because of the coach and his success of doing things, I think he will put Ronald Jones in a situation where he's going to have a good day. They're going to try to contain him again. I'm not saying they're going to stop him or shut him down. They're going to contain him enough that I think the Bucs are going to have to throw the ball somewhere between 12 to 18 times in this ball game, and if that happens, the game falls on Jerry Bradshaw, in my opinion. So I don't know how we going to figure out who wins this argument, but I'm telling you right now, I know Coach Falky, and I just think he's too good of a coach to just really get one dimensional to death.
Okay, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand that you got 16 and you write 16. I mean, I produce Grammys.
And my girl sitting here like, all right, nigga, get off the show. Go ahead, I'm listening. Clean this shit up.
And last year's game did not have a Bradshaw in this game, and we do know that they used the running game, but they used it different. They did little stuff, wait till he got on fire, and then they would go to it. They really didn't go into the runs kind of the way they did because they had Tom Brady. So
see, his mic went off because he ain't saying shit right now because he ain't ready to win this one. This argument is over with. That's why his mic went off. So go ahead. They ain't have time.
Yeah,
let me shut you up. Let me just end this shit.
The mic went off because that was a mic drop.
Oh, mic drop?
That was a mic drop. That's
all right, so the mic
drop.
So I picked the bitch. You mic drop, but I picked it right back up, and I'm going to say this. Tom Brady and no Tom Brady, I don't care what you screaming with that. I'm going to tell you like this. The Buccaneers want to run Ronald Jones until his ass on fire and then run him some more. He ran Ronald Jones, got him on fire. He even had good games when he playing fault with the run game. What I will say is this. I seen Ronald Jones on fire in that playoff game last year in the divisional round. Saw it. I saw him on fire, and then I still saw it turn into a game where he had to throw the football with Tom Brady and threw double picks back to back. I don't care what you screaming right now. I think this coach is well prepared for a guy that's going to run the ball, and his systematic way of running.
It's not about what I'm screaming. It's why it wasn't because he was shutting the running game. It was because he relied on Tom Brady. He didn't care what type of runs that he was doing because when it was TB12 time, he felt like he could turn it on and off.
Not against it. Nah. You got to think about the coach he playing, bro. He ain't coming out here on some, I got Tom Brady playing fault. He coming out here tight, ready to play. Motherfucker know he in a dog fight because he playing a dog. He know that.
But listen, just because you talk louder don't mean you speaking the right stuff. You can interrupt Tito Jackson, but you don't interrupt Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I'm Michael Jackson on this thing. I need you to grab your guitar and get behind me. This is what we're doing with this whole thing. You can back me up and shoot you do, because what it is, this was when he first realized, this is when it hit him, that Tom Brady wasn't making the same passes. He didn't have the same accuracy, and he wasn't the same. That's when he really knew that it was over. Where Tom Brady was concerned, it was time to move on. It hit him at the wrong time, and he ran his offense different because he was expecting the same TB12, but he got a different TB12. I guarantee that won't happen today.
Now, since you think you 3-0, and I really want to get off of this bit so I can talk to my girl. She's staring me in my face. You ain't winning this one. Trust me. I'm ready to kill it. This shit about to be over right now. You keep screaming at, he started to realize Tom Brady wasn't that and this and that. Listen, bro, he gave that man 30 carries in that game in that playoffs. 30 or more. honestly. So who was he worrying about? TB, or was he worrying about the running back? I'm telling you, in key moments of that game, that running back wasn't successful enough to keep him from just going to 40 carries. So he had to throw the ball. And when he had to throw the ball, it was because of the Cardinals and the coach scheming him into having to play in those situations where he had to throw the ball. Simple as that. You can't tell me Tom Brady was the guy, he was comfortable with Tom Brady, then come right back and say he realized Tom Brady wasn't the guy anymore. No, he had to throw the football. Guaranteed. He had to throw the football.
There's nothing
I'm
wrong
saying you can't say both though. You said I'm going into the game with Tom Brady.
You're looking at a 20-year-old fighter who now all of a sudden at 40 in the middle of a fight he realizes that he don't punch the same no more. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you like this. 30 carries tell me who he was focused on in that game. But those 30 carries wasn't enough to keep him from having to throw the ball damn near 20 times in that game as well. And he lost that game because he threw the picks. No matter if Tom Brady arm fell the fuck off and it became a noodle at that point, I don't care. I'm telling you, if Ronald Jones can't keep these guys in short distance downs on third downs, then and the Cardinals can put them in situations where they have to throw the ball. Remember, this was a if they have to throw the football, then I think the game falls on Jerry Bradshaw's shoulders, because if they have to throw the ball, he has to be able to play Tom Brady the moment where you say the Tom Brady that he was confident in. Jerry Bradshaw has to play on that level, and not the Tom Brady that fell off in that same game you're talking about.
But we can't go into this year's game talking about last year's game. We can't go into the new girl talking about the girl you was with before. That's totally irrelevant.
But the Bucks is the same old girl though, bro. It's the same girl. Ain't nothing changed over there. 70% throwing the ball, running the ball, more yards and rushes than anybody else. It's the same girl over there. It's the same little tired ass girl you kind of tired of, and when you out with her, you don't even want to walk with her anymore because you getting tired of her ass. It's the same girl over there. What are you talking about? The same girl. Only thing changed is she cut her hair from long to short this time around. Same chick.
Take the same path to work and you got a different car. That doesn't mean that the ride is the same. It's not. It's a totally different ride, even if you take the same path.
What's different about that ride? I'm waiting. What's different about that ride?
A little different.
What's different about that ride?
What are you waiting for? It's a 3-time MVP. What else do we need to talk about past a 3-time MVP? There's nothing to talk about.
So we're back to saying this. I'm saying to you, the coach of the Arizona Cardinals is a good enough coach to make that guy have to throw the ball at times. He's not going to sit there and just run him to death. Nobody's playing the Cardinals one-dimensional and coming out of there successful. Nobody. He's going to have to throw the football. All right? No matter if he feels more comfortable with Jerry Bradshaw versus Tom Brady. Who cares? The whole argument is if he has to rely on Jerry Bradshaw to win him this ball game. That wasn't the
argument that we brought up. Why are you moving the goalpost?
I'm not moving no goalposts. I'm still talking about the same shit. I said I think Jerry Bradshaw will be the key player in this game because I think the Cardinals defense is good enough to make Jerry have to throw the ball in this game.
And
they're not going to better beat him one-dimensional.
I said that the 3-time MVP is going to set up the other guys so they can be in a position to pass the ball. That's all we disagreed on. You act like I said that.
No, I'm telling you, ain't no disagreement. You ain't winning this argument right now. I'm telling you, you didn't win this argument.
Not stopping anybody's run game.
Tell him. What you say? Say that again.
The Arizona Cardinals is not stopping anybody's run game.
Did you ever hear the word he gonna stop that run game come out my mouth? Did you ever hear that?
You said that they were gonna be third and 8.
I said.
So you mean to tell me that the Arizona Cardinals defense for 2 plays?
Tell him again, babe. Tell him again.
You mean to tell me they're going to take the 3-time MVP and on 1st and 10 he's going to rush for 1 yard and then 1 yard and then 3rd and 8? I'm telling you that this 3-time MVP is going to put that team in situations where they're going to have to throw the fucking football in this game. And if that happens, when they have to throw the football, then they have to rely on Jerry Bradshaw, the guy that's better than Tom Brady, more comfortable with him. The whole conversation came to you saying, a 3-time MVP for rushing for 1 yard per carry.
Tell him again, right?
That is absurd.
They could kick me out. Oh my God, kick me out, Doc. I'm telling you, flat out
They
this.
should kick you out. With that
I'm telling you,
I'm
telling you, I don't give a flying fuck about a 3-time MVP. I care about the coaches on the field right now.
You should,
and if you telling me, the Arizona Cardinals, coached by Coach Falky, is going to get one-dimensional to death and win and lose a ball game, then yeah, we're not talking the same conversation.
I don't care if they bring back. I don't care if they bring back the tuna. Nobody's gonna hold that MVP to 1 yard per carry. So a 3rd and 8 is not gonna happen.
So you telling me every time the fucking Bucs is on offense, they gonna be 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2? That's not football, bro. They gonna have a situation where they knock it off, bro. You're not even realistic right now.
Okay.
That's not even being realistic right now.
Yeah,
at all. It's not being realistic right now. 3rd and 4 is, like he said, 3rd and 4 is a passing down right now. I'm telling you right now, is the MVP going to get on fire? Yeah, because he's going to run him to get on fire. Then the game goes into dives and just running right at his ass. Because you can't make tackles. I understand. I understand that, bro. I understand that. It's other guys that run the ball on 3rd and 12. We understand those things.
That's listening. Do y'all not understand that you can trip over your own shoelace on this Madden and fall forward for 3 yards? How in the hell is the Arizona Cardinals gonna hold this man to 1 yard rushing?
All right, so here we go. All you saying to me is that you don't give a fuck who playing. All you saying to me, you don't give a fuck who playing. That they can a nigga that's playing in these last two games that's being played can be one dimensional and win ball games in this game against these type of coaches that's on the field.
No, what I said was the running game is going to be the reason why they're not dependent on their quarterback to be in those 3rd and 8 situations. The only way that they're going to be in a 3rd and 8 situation is just on one of those first 2 downs.
I don't care about 3rd and 8. What I'm telling you is this. I think Ronald Jones is going to have a day because he always have a day. But what I'm telling you is, there's a difference between 30 carries and 280 yards and 5 touchdowns in a game where you might have 160 yards on 28 carries.
Hold on. Let me address this in the chat. No, Drew, 3rd and 4 is a passing down for you and your offense. No, sir. That is not a passing down for me and my offense, Nano and his offense, Craig and his offense. Ask the guru how many times that he will pass the ball on 3rd and 4 or feel like he needs to throw the ball. Is passing?
Yeah, I don't feel like a 3rd and 4 is automatic running down either. What I'm saying to you is this: Jerry Bradshaw is going to have to throw the football in this game, and he's going to have to do it at a high level. Absolutely. And if that comes down to it, he's going to be the key piece of why this Buccaneers team win. That's what I'm saying to you, flat out. I don't care about 3rd and 1s or this guy going to fall forward for 5. I don't care about that. There's going to be situations just like in Falk's passing game. He's the #1 passer in the league. But we know, just like you said, we know Tyson Williams is going to have to do something in this game. We know that. So I'm telling you the opposite. Jerry Bradshaw is going to have to be effective in this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this ball game.
All we're saying is the keys to victory. And the keys to victory is for them to stay in the element of what got them there.
I'm not questioning that. I'm not questioning that though. But I'm saying the element of the game, the magnetize of the game. It's the magnitude of this game. The 2 players that are playing each other. I'm telling you that the Bucs will have to throw the football in this ball game. That's what I'm saying to you. And if that happens, we're betting the game on Jerry Bradshaw. If he can go out there and be 70%, throw 2 touchdowns and no picks, fine. Now, with that run game wins him that ball game and could possibly win it big. But I'm telling you that if it relies on, if the quarterback has to throw that football in this game, he has to be special. He has to play the same type of special football he's played all year long. That's what I'm saying to you. So I think the key to winning this ball game is what Jerry Bradshaw does when he has to throw the ball. I'm not saying that the running game ain't going to win him the ball game, or that's what I mean, that's his main part of his offense is running the football.
So let me understand you correctly. Your reason for trying to end my streak is on a if, and my reason for continuing my streak is on facts.
Nah, I'm telling you, your streak is already lost because I'm telling you that the Bucs is going to have to throw the football in this game.
Everybody got to throw the football, because if you don't throw the football, you're going to be in violation of play calling rules. Everybody got to throw the football. Come on.
So that means Jerry Bradshaw is going to be important to this game. So that's my key to the game. How well he plays.
The game.
Oh my
It's
God.
not the key to the game. The key to the game is a 3-time MVP.
All right, you ain't walking out of here with a victory at all. At all. I don't think you won this
Well,
one at all.
I mean, even Zab Judah, when he got knocked out, he still swore up and down he got robbed.
Man,
So,
I hear
mean,
you. Yeah, the punchlines ain't working right now. We want to hear real rap right now. We don't want to hear that, that candy punchline shit. We want to hear a nigga bars make sense. We want to hear a motherfucker that's spitting and you like this nigga, boy, and you can visualize what he's saying right now. So visualize this. Cardinals, Bucks playing. The Cardinals and the Bucks are playing, and the motherfucking Bucks is gonna have to throw the ball in this game, and Jerry Bradshaw is gonna have to be the same quarterback he's been all year long in this ball game to win it. That's what I'm telling you. That's bars.
And
Understand
it's gonna be
that.
that way because of the running game, because of the 3-time MVP.
I hear you.
We want to talk about ifs. If
they gonna want to see the rematch of this. They want to see the rematch of this beef. That's what they want to see. They say, all right, I don't know who won. We'll come back after the game. We'll come back and say who won this battle.
Ain't nobody
I guess.
said that.
And now I'm talking about. But what we gonna do is we gonna get off of here because my girl, even though she's participating and talking shit in the background, she still rather talk to me right now. So we gonna kill this shit right now. My nigga Rob, tell him bars. We're out of here.